guys. Why? Because for Father's Day, since I'm a beer geek, you know what I got. I got beer, of course. I didn't actually get beer, but I got beer money. I got this really cool card that my son made for me. You've seen him, DJ the Younger, in the Soda Reviews. Yes, he's in the background. And he made me this nice card, and down the bottom here, this picture is of a beer, and it says, "Here's some beer money." So,
because I'm an awesome son.
That's right, because he's an awesome son. That's right. So, that means we're going to have this beer tonight on Father's Day. So, what beer are we having tonight? We're going to have Maine Beer Company out of Freeport, Maine, US of A. We're going to have their lunch beer. And now this beer is an IPA, 7.0% ABV, and it's a year-round serving. Now, why is it called lunch? The reason it's called lunch is because there's a whale that's off the coast of Maine that they see swimming that has a bite out of its dorsal fin that looks like when you take a bite sort of at a sandwich. So they call that whale lunch, and they've dedicated this beer to that whale's perseverance and I guess surviving that long. So, and they've been, it's a while too, because they've been seeing that whale since 1982. So lunch has been around for a while with the bite out of its dorsal fin. So this beer hasn't been made that long because Maine Beer is a fairly young company. Itty bitty that started literally in the guy's garage in the winter. And these Maine Beer, if you don't know, is really dedicated to the environment. They give 1% of their proceeds back to, green funds and promoting, green energy and everything like that. So, good story to tell. More about the beer. This beer is using 5 kind of hops, and it's an East Coast, actually 5 kind of malts. And they're using, let's see, what is it, Warrior, Amarillo, Centennial, and Simcoe, I believe. So we got 5 kind of malts, we got 4 kind of hops, and this is supposed to be an East Coast interpretation of a West Coast IPA. But what's the East Coast? It means it's going to be balanced. So, not flapping my gums. Let's get this out of the bottle, get it in the glass, and get it in my belly. One important thing to note is right on the side of all Maine Beer bottles, lovely, fairly simple Maine Beer crown goes along with their stripped down sort of packaging. All the bottles are dated. This beer, I know for a fact, because I see it right on the side, and now that I'm drinking it, is 7 days old. You're not going to get any fresher than a week-old beer. So, let's get, unless you're at the brewery itself. So let's get this in the glass, see what we got going on.
Come on, they don't care about you, they care about the beer.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, stifle. Alright. Plenty of carbonation on this bad boy. So, when I'm looking at this, it's a hazy, deep amber color. More orange hues than yellow coming out of it. Lots of active streaming bubbles from the bottom. We got a solid 2 1/8 fingers of super tight khaki off-white bubbles. When I swirl it, I'm getting some clinging lacing and a decent bit of alcohol legs as well. If you take a look at that, it's a lovely looking beer. Stereotypic DIPA. You can tell it's got a pretty decent malt bill in it also, since it's got that fairly dark color. So, let's get a nose on this, see what we got going on. Big citrus, pine, a little bit herbaceous, resinous. It reminds me, when I'm smelling this, I've had Maine Beer Peeper and I've had Zoe also. This reminds me of like a bigger version of Peeper. It's more malt than the aroma because there's some like sort of honey and some biscuity malt in the background. And it's got a lot more hops to it. It's like I say, if you've had Peeper, this is sort of an amped up version of their Peeper. So, let's get a taste on this, see what we got going on. Smells good, looks good. Let's see if it tastes good. Wow, that's a big IPA. Wow, big and hoppy. There is balance there. This reminds me a lot in its resinous taste and the malt in there. It reminds me a lot of Pliny that I've had. It's got that piney, resinous taste to it. Like I keep saying, it's a little bit dank, not real dank. There's a lot of tropical fruit in there and grapefruit in the aftertaste. And there's also a little bit of tangerine and pineapple in there. This is a well put together beer. It's got a full medium mouth feel to it. And you can't taste a bit of the 7% of alcohol in it. This is a very well made beer. And I can see why it's been fairly highly acclaimed. The aftertaste is loveliness. It's dry, piney, and dank in the aftertaste with a bit of grapefruit bitterness to finish it off. And this goes down really easy for what it is at 7%. So, we got to grade this bad boy now. It's a Father's Day beer, so you know I'm grading it good no matter what, right? That's right. Anyways, Rate Beer, what did they give it? Rate Beer gave it 100. Beer Advocate gave it a 97. I think I'm going to go with that 97 also. It's really good. It's not a 98, which would be in the A+ scale, but it is as high as I can get for an A. Really awesome beer. I'm glad I got to have this fresh. Maine Beer hasn't been around here long, and this is the first time they've had lunch down in this area because it's a really pretty high demand for this beer, and they don't seem to brew as much of this as some of the other ones. So if you can find it, try it. I think you'll like it. I recommend it. Let me know what you think about it if you've had it. I love the feedback and the quid pro quo back and forth about the beer. So anyways, we got to talk about something important now, guys. You got to thank your son. Thank you, son, for the beers.
You're welcome, Geek.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. And you've also got to do something important. You got to think locally. You got to drink locally. You got to support the craft beer movement. You got to keep this thing growing. I appreciate each and every one of you, like I said. Until the next time, that's a big peace out.